Welcome to the very first country music showcase sound and vision of 2020, and I'm delighted that the first guests we've got on this series are the wonderful Geoff and Victoria, Tennessee twin. Welcome, guys.
Hello. Thanks for having us.
Not at all, you're very welcome, and we're on the sofa.
This is the sofa
The
session
sofa session
Yep.
sofa. How exciting. I've been really looking forward to this one.
It needs its own Facebook page, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does, yeah. That's a good idea. Well, we've not spoken properly since the #1 EP.
No.
Yeah, it seems such a long time ago now.
It does,
We've only seen you
yeah.
socially since then.
Exactly,
Yeah.
yeah. We haven't actually formally done anything.
No.
Congratulations.
Thank
Let
you.
me
Thank you
formally
very much.
congratulate you.
Cheers.
That was fantastic. Huge success, well deserved. And then you release another stellar single
Thank you.
in Two Heart Rendezvous.
Thanks very much, yeah.
So I guess what I want to know, really, where I'm going now is, what is 2020 holding for Tennessee Twin?
Ooh. Well, we're busy writing at the moment, aren't we?
Yeah, focus at the moment is writing. We've got a number of gigs coming up in the next few months, but actually we're spending most of the time writing and recording, hopefully a full album for the summer.
Yeah.
Okay, wow. So that's sort of, what, 12 tracks, are you thinking? Or
Yeah, 10 to 12, it just
Yeah.
depends on...
We're aiming for 10, and if we get a couple more, that'd be good.
Then they'll go on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow.
If it makes sense as an album from beginning to end, then they'll go on. And
Yeah. Have you got, because I felt there was very much a theme with the EP. We spoke about this before we started this, sort of how it's bookended by Born for the Road and
Without
You.
You,
Thank
yeah.
you. And it takes you on a bit of a journey, and it's bookended by two songs that are very different, but at the same time similar in they're both love songs. They're both sort of about not being with somebody maybe and wanting to be with them from two different spaces. So are you thinking about writing in that sort of journey again throughout the album?
At the moment, no. Although, having just seen Ashley McBride's little trilogy she's released, I'm quite interested in the idea of some kind of structure. So it's made me start to think about that. So possibly.
I think that, one of the themes for Tips in a Jar was, difficulties that can happen when people get together, and there's certainly going to be some of that reflected in some of the new stuff we're writing. It might be a fun little song, maybe a fun drinking song
We have
in
to
there.
have a drinking song.
Oh, you've got to do that, haven't you? It's country music at the end of the day.
We haven't done it yet. We haven't done a list song. We haven't done a funny song. So you
We've
may.
got to tick off all the
Yeah.
The cliches.
We might do that. You never know. Might try and get them all in one song. You never know.
When it comes to writing, music and lyrics and music, I suppose two things. Which one would you go for first? And who would be dominant in either area, or is it just a free-for-all?
Yeah, I prefer if I can have. You tend to be lyrics, and I tend to be music. Always a bit of a smush of the two, and I like it if Geoff's written the lyrics and gives them to me, and then I can just go in and write how I think that should sound. But Geoff prefers it if I come up with a melody and give it to him, and he can write some lyrics to it. So it's a bit.
So it ends up being a mix, and then quite often, particularly when you're writing lyrics, there are words that really fit when you read it and scan it. And one of the things we're always very conscious of is everything scanning properly. And that we work quite hard on that. And then you come to sing it, particularly if you're singing in a live situation at full volume and so on, you think, that's a bit awkward. That
I was going to come on to that. You do like to throw a lot of lyrics into a fairly short space of time.
I'm trying to trim him down.
Yeah, well, Two Heart Rendezvous, we do...
We did that deliberately.
We did do it deliberately. We play a song from the Nashville TV series in our live set called Plenty Far to Fall, which is originally written by Striking Matches, who are incredibly clever on lyrics and music. So that was one that we always really enjoyed. It's pretty much sung together all the way through, and it's very fast. And we thought, we should do something like that. So when the idea for Two Heart Rendezvous came out, the first few lines came out sort of pretty much straight out, and we tried singing it together and thought, I think we could pull that off. So that's how the song kind of developed with a lot of words. They're very, very quick, but rhythmically, I think that's just something really interesting and different.
Yeah, and what I love about that song is it's got a fantastic message. It's your story, isn't it? Years ago, but nothing happened. Years later, next you'll make a promise with a ring, sort of thing, you know, and that's great. Just thinking then about your writing, and where is it all your life? Would you sort of explore beyond that and do more observational sort of stuff for the album? I suppose the drinking song's going to be quite observational, unless you put the practice in first.
Well, I think you have to in country music, to a degree at least. I think the Alice off the last album, which is an odd one, when we send 5 tracks out to a radio station or something like that, Alice tends to be the one they play first, and we're not entirely sure why. We love the song. That is not our life.
No.
It is. It was really a kind of an exploration of what can happen to someone. But I think one of the thoughts that comes out of that is really, whatever happens with this for us, it's really about writing and performing and recording music. You know, we do that regardless of anything else, and so that's really the message of that song. It's as many people know, it's written for our niece who's just starting out. You know, learning to
whose
play
name
guitar.
is
Alice.
Alice.
His name is Alice.
Hi, Alice.
Yeah, hello, Alice.
Hello, Alice. Never met you, but hi.
But we have a bit. But you know, you think about that. That is her name. But we did have a comment from one particular DJ that got it through and said, when I saw it was called Alice, I did wonder before. I thought, I'm going to have to listen to this before I play this live.
24 years.
Yeah, so completely didn't occur to us. But that one's not observational necessarily of our own life.
No. Just again thinking about I'm just thinking about the writing, because that's quite it's written in 6/8, and which is obviously a more upbeaty sort of sound, and Two Heart Rendezvous again.
Yeah.
So you were saying, Victoria, about how you like the lyrics, and then you can go away and you can think, right, how am I going to play this? How am I going to put the melody to it? How do you do that? Is it innate, or is it years of practice, or is it a bit of both, or?
I think it's a bit of both. I sort of, it's almost like visual. When I see the lyrics, I start to visualize everything that's happening, and then you just start to create a mood with what you're seeing. I've always weirdly, I've always been the one that used to do the writing. I did a lot of creative writing and poetry, had published and all sorts of things, but now I'm actually really enjoying writing the music and letting you write the lyrics.
And I'm the one that failed English twice at school before I managed to pass it, and yet I ended up writing the lyrics. So it's
And I got A star.
Yeah. So it's a weird turnabout, really.
It is a bit, but it's been enjoyable. Yeah, I think I do kind of visualise it and just feel a mood, and then I sort of feel like, is this a little bit sort of Faith Hill style, or is this a little bit Shizy or something? And you kind of just take that sort of style and then run with it and do something different, hopefully. I'm always afraid that I've written something that's already been written, because you just never know.
I guess that's the next question. Do you think we'll ever run out of notes?
Well, we have. There are only 12.
This is true.
This is the thing. There are
Combinations,
12.
then.
Yeah, there are only so many note combinations you can have.
So many songs do sound like other songs, don't they? But
there was we won't mention any names. There was one particular song by quite a well-known artist, and I had heard it in the week, and it came on the radio at the weekend when we were in the car, and I as soon as I heard it in the week, I heard another song, the melody from another song, quite well-known song, and I just started singing in the car to Victoria this other song, and she went, "Didn't hear that," but there it is. It's another song right on top, and that's happened all through the history of music, and why not? There's plenty of great examples of taking a song or an idea from one genre or one era and putting it out. The same thing, but in a very different context. Yeah,
I hope we don't. And I think one of the things that distinguishes for me is vocals. And I think, again, I'm thinking about Kezia Gill, very distinctive vocally. And I think you two, the way you blend together and then individually, I think that's quite a distinctive sound. I can't think of anybody else off the top of my head that sounds like you guys do. So hopefully that will always keep you distinctive.
I hope so, yeah. I mean, it's the harmonies of what we've really wanted to try and achieve and work on quite hard. But
I think the harmonies are one of those things that I always equate to the old Karate Kid movie, the wax on, wax off. He doesn't get why he's constantly having to polish cars when he wants to, or paint fences when he wants to learn karate. And my background, when I first, as a kid, started learning music, was in a brass band. And when you're a young kid in a brass band, you get the sort of second and third row kind of parts, and those are all harmonies and offbeats and weird things that aren't melody. So from my background, that's where the harmonies come from is the fact that for most of my musical life learning, that's all I ever got to play. You know, if you got a bit of melody, it was like out come the party poppers and the streamers. You know, you just wouldn't have it. So, and Victoria's always been a lead singer in her background, and I've spent in my background some lead singing, a lot of harmony singing as well. So hopefully that gives us the tools to.
Two Heart Rendezvous, really, that bit where I think you finish singing Rendezvous and you start with We. Mm-hmm. And it just that's a beautiful moment, especially live. When I've seen you do that live, that is.
That's my favourite bit.
That's your idea.
I know. Well, yeah.
That's why it's your favourite bit.
So you can take complete credit for that.
Up a bit
yeah.
middle, so,
well, it's when we sing a lot together. Obviously, it has to be quite tight, and there's not a lot of freedom in that because you're always having to work with each other. So that was one of those things that Victoria came up with. Is that if we're just going to sing this bit on our own, these parts, we can just go up and down and loud and quiet and do what you like.
So I think everything we've done so far has been quite contained, and I'm used to singing out quite big musical theatre numbers and so on and so forth. And I thought I just wanted to have a chance to just let rip a little bit, and then maybe
is there going to be more of that?
Definitely.
This is, I think,
you won't get any choice.
There's a lot bigger numbers in the ones we've written so far for this, and a lot more electric guitar type stuff. That's I've played more electric guitar than I've ever played acoustic, although I love playing acoustic.
Yeah.
So, and Tim, our guitar player, and Nigel, our pedal steel player, and those guys, they're very much up for a kind of country rock Americana type sound. And so I'm not won't all be that way, but it definitely will be a bit more of that influence.
And definitely, I want to write a piano ballad for this one as well. It's got to be there somewhere, I think.
Yeah. Well, you do teach piano, so it's really.
Yeah.
If just to your students.
This is how you're supposed to do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that's the beautiful thing, though, isn't it? I think we were talking earlier about Brave by the Shires, and when I saw them do it, just piano and vocal, it's just stunning.
Yeah, they're fabulous.
There is something beautiful about, I think, just. As much as it's lovely to have all that big production on something, it's also wonderful to really strip something right back as well.
It's really emotive, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is, and some songs sit naturally on a guitar that wouldn't sit on a piano and vice versa, and that's something that, is a challenge as well, isn't it? It's
because I write on piano and then you can't play.
And then there's no obvious way to play something on a guitar, and vice versa, and it doesn't suit, and particularly... finger-picked guitar, your fingers work a certain way on guitar and you try and do that same thing on piano, it doesn't really work.
No.
So, and that's, where we hope to exploit maybe some piano parts and things in the next album too.
Sounds very exciting. Have we got a time frame for the album?
Well, originally we were thinking spring, but we think it might be early summer now.
Yeah, I think it's going to be early summer. I think we'd much rather hold it back a month or two and actually make it like we want. An album is such a snapshot in time that the music that we've made in the past we go back to, and it's that kind of that thing, that mystical. Well, when I'm really ancient and sitting on a rocking chair with grandchildren or whatever, these are things we'll look back on that were stamps in time, and so we want to get it right.
Yeah, yeah. Also, we need to know when people can catch you live, because you guys are great live. I know there's Unplugged and Unleashed on the 19th of March, which we saw the venue today. It's absolutely lovely. It's intimate, and it's going to be absolutely amazing.
Yeah, great venue.
Tickets only £10. Get them now.
Get in.
Yeah. But where else can we catch you? I heard the mention of Nashville later in the year.
Yeah, we've just come back from there and we're going back again in early winter to do a string of dates over there. We're in Amsterdam in a couple of weeks' time.
Yeah, we're playing a really fun gig in Amsterdam for some a private party for some friends. So looking forward to that one. And then we have Nashville Calling coming up with Hannah Paris and Morgan Way.
Love
at the end of February, so that's going to be. We've been looking forward to that one.
And Country on the Coast with Lily Garland.
Of course, yes. At the Gaty Bar in Portsmouth.
South Sea.
South Sea.
Yeah. Which is a lovely festival. We went down last year. We didn't play, but we did a couple of interviews for people down there. It's a really lovely little atmosphere down there, and really friendly kind of room and a great sounding room. So, and it's by the seaside. So,
And what's not to like?
Yeah, absolutely.
Even at the end of March, it should still be quite pleasant, shouldn't it? Fingers crossed. Just thinking, how much do you play with a full band? Because obviously, I've only ever seen you guys either in the studio at Red Road or sort of on Unplugged and Unleashed, or, you know, as an acoustic duo. So
not much, unfortunately. Obviously, it's going to be bigger venues, and they're a brilliant bunch of guys, but they're also very busy. So we have to reel them in.
We may well, once we break the album, for the launch of the album, we'll probably bring the band with us for the album launch. So we're really looking forward to that, and I know they're keen to do that as well. Yeah. So, but yeah, obviously for festivals and things, we would. We prefer to take the band out.
So will the band be going to Country on the Coast?
Not this. Just as a duo this time. So I think we're doing a round.
Yeah, it's it's kind of flattering in a way to be invited to do rounds, because it's obviously a lot more exposed. There's it's just you, and for people to trust us to do well in that environment, that's a really flattering thing. Yeah. So on the one hand, we kind of like doing that, but on the other hand, there's nothing like making a big noise with the band.
Yeah. I think what I love about the round, and what we did with Unplugged and Unleashed in Sheffield, and I know we're just going to recreate such an amazing night in Cambridge, is you get to learn about the songs, you two as individuals, as Tennessee Twin, same for Kezia, same for Gareth. It's much more of an experience, I think, as a listener and as an audience member. You get to learn so much more and really get underneath the skin of the song. It's definitely something for music connoisseurs.
Oh yeah, it's like the songwriters' night at Country to Country in March. For me, that's always the best night of the whole weekend, because it's the quality of the music you're listening to and the stories behind it.
Yeah, I mean, and even some songs that you've known for a while, when you actually hear them explained by the writer, and some, particularly at things like the C2C Songwriters' Night, it's often not the person who recorded it, it's actually the writer.
Like Laurie McKenna, who wrote Humble and Kind. And of course, Tim McGraw's version is fabulous, but then you hear her sing it, because she's got 5 children, she wrote it for her children. And you hear her sing it how she intended it to be. And I was talking to Chrissy from the Shires, and just after, we were both still tears running down her face. We just looked at each other and went, Humble and Kind. She went, I know. It was just the whole room, just everyone was in floods. Yeah,
it is in that exposed environment, and I think the event we did in Sheffield with Kezia and Gareth, the first Unplugged and Unleashed, the atmosphere that gets created, where and with an environment like that, of course, everybody, as you say, is really, really into the song and just is just absorbing absolutely everything. There is no distractions,
and for us, just listening to our fellow performers on stage, you get sucked in like an audience member, and you forget. You said, "Oh, actually, I've got to sing."
I was there, just feeling so humbled and so honoured to be sharing the stage with you guys. I'm like, this is great. Can I do this every night?
Well, that's it. You forget where you are. It could be literally anywhere in the world. It's just a room. You don't even really think about the room you're in. It's just that moment in time. So, we do love playing gigs with the band. It's just such great fun performing that way. But actually, as a songwriter, there's something quite really fulfilling about doing that.
The Unplugged and Unleashed, I think that's possibly our favourite gig we've ever done.
Absolutely.
So thank you.
Well, thank you. I mean, I think let's hope we can recreate it. I think we can.
Yeah, I think. I mean, it's obviously our hometown, and it's a great venue. We've played at many times. And I'm very confident.
I think and you need to be there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Thanks ever so much, guys, and thank you for the sofa.
You're very welcome.
I feel deeply honoured. Not at all. What are you singing? You said you were going to sing a song for us.
Well, I know there's one that you've asked a couple of times, because we've not actually done it for you.
No, you haven't.
That's our very first single, the Wings of Red Wine.
The competition winning song.
Yeah.
So, I don't think you really wrote it. That's why.
You best prove him wrong on that one then.
Walking through Soho, smelling the street, laughing over coffee, and then our eyes meet. As I left you at the airport, you took a piece of me. Now my heart's with you in Music City.
I'll take you to the ramen and the Bluebird Cafe.
love from me to you.
Play 3 chords and sing the truth.
Country song to plan our routes on these wings, red, white, and blue. Looking at clouds from the window of a plane, headed for Nashville, sipping champagne.
I'm waiting at the airport, 'cause you're coming home to me. My love's right here in Music City.
On our wings, red, white, and blue. Like love from me to you.
Play 3 chords and sing the truth.
Country song to plan our routes on these wings, red, white, and blue.
You can't be my southern boy.
You can be my English rose. Together we can build a home, blue skies and country roads. On our wings, red, white, and blue. Flies of love from me to you.
Play 3 chords and sing the truth.
Country songs to plan our routes on these wings, red, white, and blue. On these wings, red, white, and blue.
Now I'm walking through
Nashville, holding your hand.
Standing at the edge of the skull hall, trying to take the first step, trying not to trip and fall. Hoping that you say yes and dance with me, gets me to a slow song, hoping like it's meant to be. 'Cause if we can find the courage with this thing, maybe next we'll make a promise with a ring.